Before I opened my eyes, before I even knew myself, there was nothing but a vast, silent emptiness. A deep, unending darkness lay over everything. Then, a voice broke the silence. It was loud, powerful enough to shake the very foundations of nothingness. Yet it was gentle, filled with a warmth I couldn't comprehend. He said, "Let there be light." And just like that, light erupted into existence. I was amazed. Who could this be? What power could command light from pure darkness? Little did I know, this was only the beginning, the very first moment of how it all started. This light wasn't from the sun, for there was no sun. It was a pure, brilliant light that came directly from his command. He looked at the light and saw that it was good. Then he separated the light from the darkness. He called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning the first day. I watched, though I had no eyes yet, and I felt a sense of wonder that filled the void. On the second day, I heard that powerful, gentle voice again. He spoke, and the waters that covered everything began to move. He commanded them to separate, creating a space in their midst. Some waters rose high above, and some stayed below. In between, he stretched out a vast, beautiful expanse. He called this expanse sky. The world, my future home, was beginning to take shape. A structure was forming where before there had been only chaos. It was an incredible sight, a canvas being prepared by an unseen artist. Then came the third day. God spoke once more, and the waters below the sky gathered into one place, allowing dry ground to appear. He called the dry ground earth, and the gathered waters he called seas, and he saw that it was good. But he wasn't finished. His voice commanded the earth itself, and it obeyed. I was in absolute awe of this God. From the bare soil, tender green sprouts pushed their way up. Plants bearing seeds began to cover the land, and trees grew, their branches reaching towards the sky, heavy with fruit. Life, vibrant and green, began to spread across the ground. The earth was no longer just soil and rock. It was alive. The fourth day arrived, and God turned his attention to the great expanse of the sky. He said, "Let there be lights in the sky to separate the day from the night." He made two great lights, greater light to govern the day, and a lesser light to govern the night. The sun, a glorious ball of fire and warmth, took its place to rule the day. The moon, a soft silvery orb, appeared to watch over the night. And then, as if scattering diamonds on black velvet, he made the stars. Countless shimmering stars filled the heavens. These lights weren't just for beauty. They were to mark the seasons, the days, and the years. A cosmic clock was set in motion, and God looked upon his work and was pleased. On the fifth day, a new kind of life was spoken into being. God said, "Let the water teem with living creatures," and the waters came alive. Creatures of every shape and size filled the seas, from the smallest fish to the great leviathans of the deep. The quiet waters were now teeming with movement. Then he said, "Let birds fly above the earth, across the vault of the sky," and the sky, once empty, filled with birds of every kind, each with its own unique song. The world was no longer silent. It was filled with the sounds of splashing, chirping, and singing. God blessed them, telling them to be fruitful and multiply, to fill the waters and the sky. The world was becoming a symphony of life. The sixth day dawned, and it was a day of great wonders. God spoke again, saying, "Let the land produce living creatures according to their kinds." And from the earth came the animals. Wild beasts roamed the forests, livestock grazed in the fields, and small creatures crept along the ground. Every animal, great and small, was formed by his word. The land was now as full of life as the sea and the sky. But then, he did something different, something personal. I heard him say, "Let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness." There was a pause, a moment of divine intention, and from the dust of the ground me. Can you imagine that? From simple dirt, he sculpted a form, my form. It was a holy moment, a sacred act of creation. He knelt, his hands shaping the clay that would become my body. But it was just a shell, lifeless. Then, he leaned down and breathed his own breath into my nostrils, and in that instant, I became a living soul. I became alive. When I opened my eyes for the first time, the first thing I saw was him. He stood before me, his form like that of a man, but his face was pure light. It was too bright to look at, a glory I couldn't possibly behold, yet I felt no fear. There was no terror, only an overwhelming sense of peace. A profound feeling of belonging washed over me. I knew, without a doubt, that I was his. He named me Adam. He placed me in a beautiful garden he had planted, filled with every kind of wonderful tree. He showed me the world he had made and gave me the task of caring for it. But he saw that I was alone. In his great mercy and wisdom, he caused a deep sleep to fall upon me. While I slept, he took a part of me, a piece of myself. He made a companion for me, a woman. When I awoke and saw her, it was like finding a piece of my own soul I never knew was missing. She was bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. Missing. She was bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. He blessed us male and female and together, he placed the entire world into our care. He told us to be fruitful, to multiply, and to fill the earth, and to have dominion over the fish of the sea, the birds, in the sky, and over every living creature that moves on the ground. It was an incredible responsibility, a gift of trust from our Creator. When everything was finished, on the seventh day, God rested, not because he was tired, for the one who speaks worlds into existence does not grow weary. He rested because his work was complete. It was finished. He looked at everything he had made, the light, the sky, the earth, the seas, the sun, moon, and stars, the plants, the animals, and us. He saw that it was all very good. This is how the world began. This is how I began. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't by chance or a random collision of forces in the dark. It was intentional. It was beautiful. It was all spoken into existence by the powerful, gentle, and loving voice of God. My very first memory is of his light and his love.